I planned a Telecaster build project many months back where I had ordered a Chinese Telecaster body that had double binding, Nitro paint and lacquer, and was supposed to be Lake Placid blue. I was going to build one of the blue 60s Telecaster custom style guitars. After ordering it, I received the body in this video. It is more of a Daphne Blue, does not have any binding, and has a pretty good size blemish or damage on the side of the guitar close to the strap peg near the neck. I contacted the seller and told them I wanted the body that I ordered. Turns out that they didn't have it and offered me the body I already had for only $25, so they were giving me a refund on everything else I had paid. Neither of us really wanted to go through the hassle of an international return. I set the body aside after buying it and figured someday I'd come up with some sort of a project to do with it. I'm planning on going camping this May, and I've been looking at getting some sort of small RV so my wife and I can camp more often. I want a small electric guitar to take with me that I do not have to worry about damaging, is not collectible, and easily repaired or replaced. I decided to just use used parts that I already had and would put together a simple Esquire style of Telecaster, basically a Telecaster without a neck pickup. I decided to use the blue body because, one, it was already damaged, and two, I only paid $25 for it. I had a single Jerry Donahue Seymour Duncan Telecaster bridge pickup that I thought would be a great pickup for this guitar. Seymour Duncan describes it as the Seymour Duncan APTL-3JD is a well-balanced, true single-coil Telecaster pickup with boosted output. It's recommended for traditional country pop, blues, and classic rock. When Jerry Donahue, the bandmaster of the Telecaster, needed a touring guitar with the exact same sound as his prize 52 Telecaster, he turned to Seymour, who accurately duplicated the warm, punchy tone of its lead pickup. Seymour used Alnico 2 rod magnets and a special wind for increased sustain and output. The neck is a neck that I had from Mr. G.508 on eBay, and it's aged and just really comfortable to play, so it's a good candidate for this. The bridge is something different that I've not used before. It's made by Music Lily and is made of aluminum, but is really thick. Much thicker than a typical Fender vintage style bridge, but all of the holes are to vintage bridge specs. It comes with 3 brass compensated saddles already installed. I wanted to give it a try, and this guitar, since it is not being sold and is just for me, I thought would be a good candidate as well. And I paid like $30 for it and got it on Amazon.com. The wiring was where I thought I'd have a little bit of fun. I found online many different wiring diagrams for an Esquire style guitar, but the Mike Eldridge design circuit stood out to me. I wanted to be able to get different sounds out of the pickup, and from what I could see and read, this was the best design to do this. The Eldridge wiring mod is a popular mod for Esquire guitars. Mike Eldridge, the director of the Fender Custom Shop from the 1990s to 2014, who created this wiring for his own Esquire. So position 1 of the 3-way switch is just the volume control and no tone control. Position 2 is standard Esquire, which would be the standard volume and tone, and it has a 0.05 microfarad capacitor. Position 3 is volume and then a fixed 0.0047 microfarad tone capacitor. Installing the bridge. I want to talk about the methodology that I use to drill the 4 bridge mounting holes for a typical vintage Telecaster bridge. Now I've developed kind of a kit that I use. I have 6 3.5 long 1/8 machine screws that I found that if I put the bridge on the guitar and then I put the 6 screws in the 6 string holes where I already have the ferrules installed, and the ferrules will keep the screws in place, that the 6 string holes on the bridge will help me with the screws align things fairly well. Then for drilling the 4 pilot holes, I use a self-centering door hinge bit, or what's called a VIX bit. It's a drill bit that has a shroud around it that's spring-loaded, and it's designed for drilling the hole in a door hinge. I use a 7/64 VIX bit, and this allows me to drill the 4 bridge pilot holes. The great thing about this bit type is that it centers the drill hole exactly in the center of the hole in the bridge every single time. The lip of the shroud around the drill bit on the bit rests on the edge of the hole in the bridge, similar to how it would work drilling a screw hole in a door hinge. Using the VIX bit is, to be honest with you, the only way I'd recommend drilling the bridge holes using a hand drill and not a drill press. Once I'm done drilling the 4 pilot holes, because the VIX bit doesn't allow me to go the full depth, then I take off the guide bridge and I use a 3/32 drill bit that I've taped off to the exact depth that the 4 screws need, and then I finish drilling the 4 holes. Let's talk about the sounds that come out of this Esquire. I have set up 6 sound samples at the end of the video that show a clean sample for each of the 3 settings, followed by an overdriven sample where I'm using a tube screamer. The first position, which is volume and no tone, has a great sound, both clean and overdriven. I really like it. I mostly have my tone knobs set to 10 anyways on a guitar when I play, so this kind of emulates how I would set the knobs. Number 2, the standard volume and tone, which is basically like a regular guitar, sounds pretty much identical to number 1, but with some tone variability. It sounds great. The volume and fixed 0.0047 UF tone cap, the position 3, this doesn't sound very good to me clean. It is amazingly muffled and muddy. It sounds very bassy. With the tube screamer though, it's also very bassy. It sounds almost like a distorted bass. And I kind of like it, and I could see myself being able to use this in different ways. I may experiment though with different capacitor values so I can get something up a little more usable with more mid and top end on this position. I also saw circuit designs for 4 and 5 position switches that give you more capacitor values for different tone settings. That seems kind of interesting to me. It's really amazing what you can get sound-wise out of a single pickup just trying different capacitors.